So I completely forgot that we get the CDL back this weekend. That's right. We had the first week of the Major 4 qualifiers happening, and it's only right that I do the CDL pick'ems, and I'm going to try my best to go flawless. And I also want to know what your guys' predictions are. We're going to be getting a first look at a lot of these new teams in the first week of qualifiers, and this is important because a lot of these teams are fighting for a spot at CoD Champs still. So as you guys can see, the first match of week 1 is going to be NYSL versus the Mutineers. Now, this is where it's interesting, right? Because NYSL technically isn't out of the running at CoD Champs, I believe. But they basically need everything to go their way. They need to win everything, and then they need some luck on their side. So I don't know what type of mindset NYSL has. They either have the we can and we will make CoD Champs, like they're not even sweating, or in the back of their head, they're sitting there like, damn, our year's basically over. Like we don't have a good opportunity here. And I have to think that it's probably the latter one. It's got to be very hard to really be confident in making CoD Champs. They definitely can do it. But then on the side of Florida, we have a honeymoon phase potentially here. Right? They brought in 2 new players. Vivid Dave Patty gone, Major Maniac and 2 Real. So I'm going to say that they're going to win off the sole fact that they got a little magic. And they're also in the hunt. They need this win just as much as NYSL. But I feel like their mentality's got to be a little bit better. And the vibes are probably a lot higher since they did just make a pretty big roster move. So that takes us on to the second match. This is going to be Boston Breach versus Optic. Obviously, we have ProLoop back in for Optic. And then on Boston, we have Vivid in and Capsule out. I don't know. Optic was very good with ProLoop. I know they didn't get the placing that they wanted at the Major, but they were great in the qualifiers, and I think they're going to keep that up. I mean, it's simple. Optic is just a better team than Boston. I don't think Vivid changes that. Not even, he doesn't even put a dent in it. So I have to feel confident. I'm actually going to go 3-0 Optic. And then LAG versus Toronto. So this is another team that has 2 new players. Well, technically 1 because Bart was already on the team for their major win in stage 2. But I don't know how I feel about this LAG team. I know they weren't performing well. You got to make a move because LAG still isn't technically safe if they completely bomb out. I'm pretty sure. And Toronto Ultra, they're just heating up at the right moment. Toronto Ultra look great. I know that both these teams need this win badly. Toronto played great at the Major. They looked great in the qualifiers. Spart is a very good player, and he played great. Now, did he have... I don't want to say he had an advantage because he was smart, but he had a lot more reps with the Volkswagen, right? The Volkswagen. And it got GA because I'm assuming all the pros thought it was OP, and he was just more comfortable with it. And he's a great SND player. The issue for LAG is Toronto is a fantastic SND team. And not only that, they've been just firing on all cylinders in every single mode. So I don't think LAG is going to have the same honeymoon phase that Florida Mutineers are, at least not in this series. And I have Toronto Ultra coming out on top. And then the first match of the second day, Saturday, we got the London Royal Ravens versus Toronto Ultra. Gizmo being back in, I don't know if that pushes them over. Like I said, Toronto is just heating up at the right time. I do think this could be a close series. I think this could go back and forth, but I think Toronto is just going to ice up, and they are going to go 2-0 in week 1, which is going to be massive for them because they are one of the teams that really needs these wins. And that moves us on to LAG versus NYSL. So according to the way my predictions are going right and what I'm assuming, if NYSL lose this first series to Florida Mutineers, they are definitely chalked because the very first match you're expecting to win, especially against a team like Florida. It's not like they're going up against the Atlanta Phases of the world, the Optics, yada, yada, yada. And if that happens, I think that they've caked it. I don't think that they can bounce back from that. LAG, on the other hand, I think they can find a way to win this series. Do I think LAG with this new team is going to be better than NYSL currently? I'm not really sure, but I think it's just a mentality thing. Them being more hungry because they are very much still in the range of qualifying, where NYSL is just so far back. So I'm going to have LAG taking it. And then this takes us to our first marquee match of week 1. We have the Minnesota Rocker versus Optic Texas. Minnesota looked great in the qualifiers with Havoc. They went 5-0. They went to the Major, didn't have the same performance as a whole, not Havoc specifically. And Optic, they are a better team than Minnesota. I don't know if Minnesota is an online team, okay, because we've seen them at the Pro-Am now with Havoc, and we've seen them at the third major with Havoc, and then we've seen them online. I am going to go Optic here. I'm feeling green. I'm feeling green right here. And that lasted very shortly because I'm not feeling green in this next matchup. It's going to be the Boston Breach versus the Los Angeles Thieves. Look, keep it short and sweet. LAT is currently a much better team than Boston Breach. These teams obviously matched up. The last qualifiers, it was a slight 3-0. Does Vivid make this team better? He could. You know, I didn't think Capsule was bad, but obviously when you're struggling, you got to make some sort of move, right? You don't have time to just keep struggling. Was Vivid the answer? I'm not sold yet. We're just going to have to wait and see how they perform. But from what I know right now, I have to go LAT. They're just a better team. And then that leads us to the final day. Paris Legion versus Seattle Surge. Now, Paris got a new player in Johnny. Seattle Surge are the reigning champs. This could go one or two ways. Because would I be shocked if Paris beat Seattle? No. It's Call of Duty Vanguard. We're talking about, people. But Seattle's either gonna have just the swagger, right? You know what I'm saying? Like the sauce, the confidence is oozing. They're gonna come out here, handle business 3-0, 3-1, keep moving. Or they're gonna be overly cocky from that win, and they're gonna underestimate Paris Legion. And they're gonna think it's gonna be a walk in the park, and they're gonna get upset. Now, they have accuracy on the team. I know accuracy is not going to allow them to get overly cocky. I know it. I know in practice, you know, he's going to be able to keep their heads level. So I'm going to go Seattle here. But damn, I am just going to say it because I think this is a legit possibility. I would not be shocked if Paris Legion somehow win. Because maybe Johnny helps him out a lot. Maybe he turns up, you know, in his first day, in his first series his professional debut. But we'll just have to wait and see. And then we have the Minnesota Rocker versus the Florida Mutineers. Oh, Major Maniac also getting his revenge here. But I still think Minnesota is going to be the better team. Now, I don't know how Florida's playing with two real Major Maniac, but I think Minnesota can win and will win this series. I think it might come down to the S&Ds, but they clutch up. Moving us to the last match of week 1, we have the Atlanta FaZe versus the Los Angeles Thieves. This is the marquee match. This is going to be a big one for LAT. I mean, FaZe is already in the clear. Okay, FaZe has been one of the best teams in the entire game. They've been the most consistent team. They've been in every single major finals, and LAT needs this win. They need it a whole lot more than Atlanta FaZe. Atlanta FaZe, they want to win this series just for the team morale, you know, momentum, moving forward. Just strictly a mindset thing. LAT needs that, and they also desperately need the points. So even though I really, really, really want LAT to win, I don't know. Like they can. Any team can be any team, but I just think Atlanta FaZe has been super consistent. I know that in the last qualifiers, they didn't play that great, and they still made it to the finals. So it's, you know, death, taxes, and Atlanta FaZe being in the Vanguard finals of a tournament is a guarantee. But that is my first week predictions. Guys, I want to know in the comment section below what you think is going to happen. And also, last thing, if I was to start posting like reaction videos to, say, maybe Valorant or another game, would that be something that would just completely kill your vibe, or would you be into it? Because I've obviously been getting into Valorant and other games, and Vanguard just hasn't really been it for me as of late. But let me know. I appreciate the love as always. I'm out.